This is the only tutorial that will give you a cold email marketing system that will generate qualified leads for your business on autopilot without you needing to lift a finger. And this is the same system that I've been able to battle test to generate multiple 7 figures for my business. So I'll be walking you through everything I did to set this up, everything from getting the domains, getting the leads, making sure my tech is set up, and so much more. The first of these 5 being buying your domains. What I used to do when I first started sending cold emails is I would use my personal email and I would copy and paste a bunch of emails and I would blast them from my personal work email. The problem with this is that that's the fastest way to end up in spam folders, not only for the people that you're emailing, your prospective clients, but it's going to burn the emails for everybody else that you're going to be emailing. I remember I would email my actual clients or email colleagues, and they would always tell me that my emails kept landing in spam. And it was all because I didn't buy domains properly. The thing about domains is you can't use one domain and expect to just send a bunch of emails from one domain, especially your personal domain or your work domain, end up in the inbox and also be able to scale it. What we need to do is we need to create a scalable system that allows us to send multiple emails every single day. And how we do that is we buy a domain and we set up emails through each inbox. We're going to be buying one domain. And this is going to be like, let's just call it like a burner domain. And from that burner domain, what we will do is we'll set up 5 emails. And with these 5 domains, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to send anywhere from 30 to 50 emails a day. That means with the burner domain, what we're doing is we are basically creating a fake domain. We're creating emails associated with that domain so that we can properly warm up the emails and we can build reputation with that email when we send emails that actually land in the inbox. And what we're also going to do is we're going to control the sending limits to around 30 to 50. So if I go to Instantly on the top right, you'll see a tab called Add New. What I can do is I'm going to select the Done For You email setup. When I click on Google G Suite, let's just say my business was getnewclients.com. What I can do is I can type in my business name or something contextual, and what will populate is potential domains or potential domains that I can purchase that will be contextual to the business that I have, the type of business that I create. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I buy 5 domains, then the cost is going to be $75. So $75 for 5 domains, and that's a per year cost. And then once I click on next, what's automatically going to populate is the emails already created. So now we can just create our forwarding domain or send it to our actual email. And then all of the emails will be automatically populated based off of your name, which is on the account. With these 5 domains, we've been able to create 25 emails that can send, let's just call it 30 emails per day. And that means that we're going to be able to send 750 emails per day minimum. So what this does is this expedites our ability to create multiple accounts, which allows us to scale. So we're not automatically sending stuff, we're not burning through emails, we're not landing in the spam folder. So once we have our domains set up, then the next thing is setting up our inboxes. So as you can see here, after we purchase the domain, all of the emails are automatically populated. And once I click on place order, basically the annual price is $75. The subtotal for the emails is $125 per month. So let's just note that here. What's happening when I click place order is I will proceed to check out, and then it will begin setting up my inboxes. What I had to do before when I was setting my emails up is I would have to go to a bunch of different websites. I would have to buy all these domains and I have to do all this backend setup. I would have to cross my fingers, hope that the emails that I'm sending from these different email inboxes are in fact going to land in the inboxes of my ideal customers. The problem with this is that was pretty much betting on chance, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to just create an email and then start blasting emails from all these multiple emails that we're creating. Not only is it a waste of time to have to set that up over and over and over again, and it's also more expensive. If you don't follow the warm-up protocol, you're not going to actually end up in the inboxes. So after we place the order, what we'll be able to see is we'll be able to see our warm-up emails and we'll be able to see our health score. So if I just pop into one of my emails, I can see how many warm-up emails that have been received, how many warm-up emails have been sent. I can see the health score of my email, and I can basically have confidence that because I'm doing the setup properly through Instantly's Done For You setup, that I am in fact going to have a high integrity email that I can then send a quantity that's actually scalable directly from. It is easier than ever to just simply create the email inboxes and make sure that they're set up properly. So this will be like about a 2-week process. It'll send emails back and forth, but it is paramount that we do this. And the beautiful thing is we're not having to come up with fancy ways to warm up our emails, and we're not having to do anything manual. Everything is completely done for us. So the third thing that we need to focus focus on after we get our domains and after we get our inboxes set up and automatically connected to instantly is getting our technical setup on point. If you have your inbox created, but your domain records are not created properly, then you're going to be invisible. Without SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, you're not going to be verified in the eyes of Gmail or all these other email service providers, and you're just going to land in spam every time you send an email. So the 3 records that we really need to make sure that we're set up is first the SPF records, which basically indicates who's allowed to send emails. And if you're not on the list, then you're going to be blocked. Next is the DKIM records, and that is basically proof that the message wasn't tampered with. And then lastly is the DMARC records, which is what to do if the SPF and the DKIM fail. And again, if you don't have these set up properly, you are not going to land in the inbox, and all of your time, all of your effort is going to be wasted. And you see, what I used to have to do was I would basically have to do all of this manual. It was quite a bit of work, quite a bit of copy and pasting, making sure that the email service provider is set up. It was pretty technical. I had a team member on my team literally trained just to do that and make sure everything was legit. And it really slowed us down as far as getting our ability to actually get into these clients' inboxes as soon as possible. What's cool with Instantly's full setup is they're going to do all of the technical setup for you. We've bought in the domain, we've bought in the emails, and now we can trust and have confidence that the DKIM records, the SPF, we know that what we're doing, because we're following all the protocols from a technical setup perspective, we can have confidence that we are going to land in the inbox after the warm-up process has been complete. This is huge because it not only saves you a ton of time, but it removes any margin for error and can just give you confidence that you're gonna actually land in the inbox of the customer. So once we have the domain set up, we have the inbox set up, we have the technical setup done through Instantly, the next thing that we need to focus on is getting leads. What a lot of people do, and what I used to do a lot, was I would manually pull lists, I would buy lists, I would have 10 different softwares for 10 different leads that I would get or try to pull from. And the problem with this is one, it can be really expensive because you have a lot of softwares. 2, it can take a ton of time. And then 3, the inaccuracy in room for error can really, again, just hinder your whole campaign and hinder your ability to actually generate leads using cold email. So if we're lazy about getting leads, and if we're not going through the proper process to make sure that those leads are actually verified, it is not only going to be expensive, but it, again, is just going to be a complete waste of time. So what I do is I use Instantly's super search feature. So if I click on this little magnifying glass, what I'm able to do is I can basically use the filters, and I can filter by job titles, I can filter by management levels. If I wanted C-level people, let's just say it in the United States, and I wanted people in the real estate industry. So then what will populate for us is a significantly large list of leads. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and click on find emails. And what will pop up is it will basically tell us how many emails do we want to get. And then what it will also ask us is if we want a fully enriched profile. So without just explaining everything, I'm just going to show you exactly how it works by enriching and finding the first 25 leads. So now what this is doing is not only is it have a massive database pulling from a list of hundreds of millions of potential contacts, but what it's also doing is it is verifying the email. It is using multiple databases to make sure that the email that we're going to be sending to is in fact legit. Meaning it's not going to be bounced. The person still works there. We can have, again, confidence that we're going to land in the inbox of our target customer, and ultimately that's going to help us get more deals. And what it's also going to do is it's going to fully enrich their profile. And what that means is it's going to find them on LinkedIn. It's going to find like their contact headline, their contact summary, the company industry, the company description, company website, company size, etc., which allows us to leverage for personalized lines, get more intel on the prospect, and ultimately be better at selling. And what we're also able to do is we can do so much more with AI and getting lists of leads. Like, I mean, the way that I was doing it was so outdated. It is incredible how far AI and Instantly has come with being able to just pull incredible data. So if I add enrichment, what I can also do is I can find job listings. Maybe I'm targeting people with specific job listings. I can see what technologies people are using. Maybe I'm trying to target people who are only using Shopify or a specific software that I know that they're potentially selling something online. I can find company news. I can find funding type if there's been funding at the company, which gives me ammo to then write personalized lines. What's even cooler is I can actually scrape their website and I can find key points on their website, whether it's their about, their mission, some case studies from there, their team members, whatever it could be. But I'm now able to literally go on the company's website and pull specific information from it. In addition, what I can also do with a simple prompt is I can write an email based off of the person that I'm reaching out out to based off of my target audience, which makes it so easy to be able to connect and so easy to be able to actually get results with cold email. So this can be anywhere from $97 plus, depending on how many leads that you're trying to get every single month. To me, it only takes one email to get your ideal customer, and I assume that your contract value is more than $97 a month. We have the domains, we have the inbox set up, we are confident in our technical setup, we have a list of leads easy to go. Next thing is sending emails. So once we have the list of leads, all we really need to do is we just need to create a campaign inside of Instantly. So I can go to my campaigns, I can add a new, and I can just do test campaign. I can click on continue, and then I can add my leads from my list. I can add them manually. I can add them from a Google Sheet, whatever it can do. And then what I'm able to do is I can use the email that I wrote in the leads list. I can have AI write a sequence generator. I can automatically add spin tags into the email, which makes it super, super easy for me to make sure that there's variables there. There's everything in front of us to make sure that we actually land in the inbox of our ideal customers. Let's just say I wanted to use the spin tags writer because I want to make sure that I'm getting some variables in there. Then I can click on AI spin tags, and what it's going to do is it's going to basically create variances for different intros for the first line that's similar to what I have. And this is, again, just a game changer because I can have confidence that I'm going to land in the inbox of my ideal customer, which at the end of the day is what we want, and we want to be efficient with it, especially as we scale this up. And then when I'm ready to send, all I need to do is click on save, and I can pick a schedule. So depending on your time zone, depending on where your customers might be responding, I'm able to create a custom time zone based off of that. And then what I'm able to do is I can just select the accounts that I want to send from. I can create my daily limit, which is 30 emails per email address. And there's a lot of more advanced techniques to make sure that we're landing in the inbox based off of email service providers. And I can set a daily limit, which is going to be 30 emails per email that we just got. And what this is going to do is it's going to rotate the emails. So it's not going to send 100 emails, or it's not going to send 30 emails all at once from one of the emails. It's going to send in blocks of around 9 or 10 minutes every single email to make sure that it's safe and actually landing in the inbox. And then once I go ahead and click launch, all of the replies are going to end up in the Unibox, easy to manage. All the replies from all of the emails that we purchase are all going to be filtered into the Unibox, automatically categorized, and we're able to easily and quickly respond based off of the response that we got. Not only that, we're able to see analytics and so much more, guys. Now, if you want to actually see how you'd set up an entire service-based business and use this exact same system to sell it, then click on the video on the screen and check out the next video where I go through the whole process of coming up with the name, logo, website, offer, everything, so that you can literally just copy and paste what I do and also see a setup like this in motion using a real life scenario. And at the end of the video, I actually book a few appointments. So I'll see you on that one.